Hello and Happy New Year from the Slingshot channel. Yes, sure. I'd like to take the occasion on this January 1st of 2025 to show you the plans for GoGun products in 2025. And today we'll begin with the knives. Tomorrow I will upload another video talking about the air guns and crossbows. But today was just exclusively doing knives. Well, and I'd like to begin with the knives that I released in 2024, because most of them are actually still available and maybe you're interested in them. So we started with the snake knife, and the snake knife here in a holster where you could actually put a sausage or a cucumber in so that you can legally carry it in Germany as you have a purpose, food. This is a very different fighting knife that keeps your hand free in fighting. So you can use it for any kind of knife fighting or other purposes. And you can also easily slip it off. You can also hold it like this if you prefer it. Now this very, very interesting knife, it's a limited edition, but there's still some available. So it's one of the most unusual knife designs that I've ever made. And actually probably my only fixed blade so far. The next one is the Filet knife, which is actually the same concept as my pocket shetty. A knife that has a prolonged handle to cover a long blade. And this knife is actually completely opposite of the pocket shetty, because where the pocket shetty is massive and thick, this is super, super slim. Very high-end steel. It's a CPM S35VN steel. This gives it the great flexibility that a fillet knife must have. It's razor sharp. Carbon fiber scales. And also this is also carbon fiber. It's a super lightweight, under 100 grams knife, and super slim. Look at that profile, so I like it a lot. It's very limited, so there's only 1,200 pieces. Yes, this is number 445 of 1,200. And yeah, it's an expensive knife, therefore we probably won't sell more than 1,200 anyway. And also I made the rescue hammer. The rescue hammer is a very interesting tool because it's not only a glass breaker for like car side and rear windows, but it also has a claw and a saw so that you can go through double pane windows, like the front shield windows, which otherwise you cannot escape through it because the film in between the two glass pieces is very tough. So this one here is made to cut through it so that you can actually use it to get someone out of a wrecked car through the front windshield. It's also probably a good emergency self-defense tool, but that's not its purpose. So it's also very interesting and has been in the shop for a while now. Most successful knife of this year is actually the Hfanger, which means the deer catcher. It's actually a hunting knife, but it's very attractive because it's a pantographic knife. So it opens like so. See, like magic. Double-edged blade. You get this with the antler scales, but there's also black G10 scales that you can exchange in the box. But it's really, really, great in the hand, great comfort. It's also a great decoration piece, but it's also highly, highly useful. Very unusual. We made 5,000 pieces. It's limited edition, one edition only, 5,000 pieces. And they're almost sold. I think we have a few hundred left. So this is the most successful knife I brought out in 2024. So now we're talking 2025. And actually we'll begin with the Deutsche Taschenmesser, which means the German pocket knife. It's actually like, it's like following the same lines as the Swiss Army knives. But of course, everything is bigger in Germany. So this actually has like the well-known shape of the blade. It also has a really long double tooth saw. So this is a sturdy tool, and of course both blades lock. It is available in both red and olive green, like NATO olive color. So this one has the GoGun logo, and this one has just the Germany logo on it. So which one you prefer is up to you. Next we have the pocket parang, which is actually following the line of the pocket shetty. So, and also of the Filet knife maybe. But this one of course is massive. It's brutal. It's a heavy hacking knife with a super powerful lock. So this is actually great to get like a pot from the fire where you can just just put on the handle of the pot and then lift it off. But it's just amazingly heavy and amazingly sturdy. It will be the limited edition knife. I love it just because it's just huge. Talking about big ass folders, this one is the Transformer Kukri. Why is it called the Transformer Kukri? Well, look what happens. And you can of course also reverse this, even though it locks, of course. So you can see that you can open the blade and you can close this one here, and then magically the handle of the thing gets into shape. You can actually remove this pin here and put it in here to give the blade another additional lock so that it actually cannot fail on you, even though that back lock is mighty strong. So yeah, I love it. It's based on a design that someone made like 12 years ago in the no longer existing Cold Steel forum. He just made a 3D animation, and we actually bought a license from that gentleman. He was actually very surprised that after such a long time someone approached him. It wasn't even easy to find the guy. In any case, new in 2025. Next up we have this knife. Well, it looks a little bit unusual because it is unusual. Since this looks like a fixed bladed knife, but it isn't. It is a locking knife, but you can exchange the blade. And actually there are several blades. So this is just a normal utility knife, but this one is more like a fighting blade. Look how wide it is. I love it, don't you? But there's also tools for it. There's like, for example, you can turn it into a Phillips type screwdriver or a regular screwdriver, which is here, okay, like so. And also you can use it for a bit. So this is a standard bit, so you can use any kind of bit, whatever you want to do with it. Now there is also a T-handle for it, which in Germany I'm only allowed to use for the tools. Since in Germany fist blade, like fist daggers are illegal. But of course for tools there's no such ban. But it would be illegal for me to put in one of the blades for the knife, one of the knife blades into this here. Now this has several advantages. Legally in Germany, with this blade, you cannot carry the knife without a reason. You need a purpose for it. For example, if you are like camping or hiking and so on, it's okay. But it's a double-bladed dagger blade, and therefore you couldn't do it. Now with this one, actually, you can legally carry it, even though the blade is longer than 12 centimeters, but it's clearly not a fixed knife. See, this is not fixed. So it actually, and you totally need two hands to open it. You can't do this one-handed. So therefore, this can be legally carried. And if you put one of the tool pieces in there, like the screwdriver head or so, then you can even carry it in a zone where there's actually a ban on all weapons. Since then it's a tool in other weapons, so you can even carry it in a train. You can carry it in a, some kind of a Christmas market, whatever. So this actually goes around some of the German laws. Next up is this one here, which is actually still a prototype, therefore the color is white. That won't be white anymore later on. This is actually a neck knife, and it's actually a double-sided knife. One is serrated for like cutting bread, like rolls and just other types of bread. And this is actually to cut with a smooth edge. This is actually to cut like sausages or vegetables or whatever. This very interesting knife is carried on the neck, so it's a neck knife sheath, and it will only cost just 10 euros, just under 10 euros. And €1 goes to the VDB, which is some kind of an NRA for Germany, fighting for more freedom for weapon owners. So 10% of the sales price goes towards them. And it should also be available in a set of 6 for a whole table. Another knife that goes around German laws. Recently they banned all switchblades in Germany. So normally a switchblade that opens while pressing a lock would no longer be legal in Germany. But that only applies to automatic knives that lock upon release of the button. So you press the button, I may do this, so you press the button, you release it, and then normally they lock. That's what the normal switchblades normally do. But not this one. This one is actually a slip joint. So it takes about the same amount of force to close like a Swiss Army knife, a regular Swiss Army knife. If you want to lock it, you can just slide this one here forward and then the knife is locked. But since it's not doing this automatically, this is not legally considered a switchblade in Germany, and therefore it's legal. And there will even be one without this lock, so it will be a pure slip joint, and then you can even legally carry it in Germany. So I'm not sure if this is, probably there will be an international version that opens, because this is actually the Midgard's Viking folder. This is why you have this really, really heavy blade, and actually I love how like a shock wave going through your hand when you open this, because the blade is so heavy. Then there is the folding bearded axe. It looks a little bit unusual because this is actually a folding axe that looks completely different when it's closed. So this is how it looks in closed condition. As you see, it more looks like a Viking V, right? And you can easily put it in some kind of belt sheath or whatever. This is not the latest prototype. The latest prototype, I already got video from the colleagues in Italy that make it. The one is actually opening like, so you can just actually like throw it open and then it automatically locks in place. There are pins where you can actually increase the strength of the lock, but normally it's not just needed since there are powerful backlocks. In any case, you can even do this two-handed. Imagine that, and then you have two of these axes. Wouldn't that be great? Probably the best-selling knife of 2025 will be this here, the Instant Ronin Double Tanto. Let me show you its features. Look at these long blades. They kind of magically disappear into their own handles, like so. It's so cool. You see, they slide out, you first pull them out of their own handles, and then you fully extend them. That's so cool. We're targeting each knife at 200 euros. This means you would have to pay 400 euros for the set. And hopefully they will be available maybe by mid-2025. So that's so cool. Lastly, I present to you Inazil, Isildur's pocket knife. I designed this together with Midgard's for Burka Plus. So this will be a Burka Plus knife. This means it won't be limited, but also won't be very expensive, even though it's a heavy, thick-bladed knife. It's actually not double-sided, it's not sharp on both sides, so it's only a single, because otherwise you would cut yourself here. I love how quickly it opens, just because you have this lever here. It doesn't have a spring though, so it's just a manual knife, but it opens very quickly. It has a super heavy pommel here, as you see. Center of gravity is more like here. This makes the knife super fast. So and also it gives it some heft. So even if you use it like, you know, for sideways stabbing or downward stabbing, you have a lot of heft, because this is a heavy knife. I actually think I try to follow the design line of Inazil, the Lord of the Rings sword that was used by Isildur to cut off the ring finger of Sauron. And therefore I tried to follow that design line as good as I could. And I actually really like it. You know, I just like how the blade is shaped, and I think it's just mean looking, still very elegant. I hope it's going to be a success. In any case, those are the knives of 2025. Hopefully we'll get some more of them from Midgard's, but I don't know that yet. So this is just the plan so far. And I hope you liked it, because that's it for today. Thanks and bye-bye.